Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devi Saraswati.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet
Jayamudirayet.
Shinvatam Swakatah Krishna
Devatam Swakatha Krishna.
Nishravana Kirtana
Punyasravana Kirtana.
Yadyantasto Hiyabhandrani
Riddhantosti Abhadrani.
Vidhunote Suhritsatam
Vidhunoti Sarutsatam.
Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttamasloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nayistiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya
Krishnaya
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki
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 Nandanaya
Nandanaya
cha
Yacha
Gopakumaraya
Gopakumaraya
Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha
Govindaya
Govindaya
Namo
Namo
Namaha
Namaha
Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yukkapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna devotees, we will continue the study of chapter 8, Prayers of Mother Queen Kunti. We covered up to verse number 27 in the last week, 28. So in the prayers that were covered so far, Queen Kunti acknowledged that Krishna is the origin of everybody and everything. He is the supreme controller, and she also mentioned that only by performance of devotion service one can get to a little understanding of the tattva of the Lord. Tata Paramahamsana Muninam Amalatvanam, that was. And then she also said only through pure-hearted endeavors one can understand Krishna. Not, only pure-hearted devotees can understand Krishna. Even though Krishna is, is available to see for all the people in the world 5,000 years ago, not many really understand the nature of Krishna, because one needs a pure heart to understand Krishna. So Krishna also Queen Kunti remembers how Lord has protected specifically her family in so many calamities, time and again. She prays that let all these calamities come again and again, so that we get the opportunity, the Pandavas get the opportunity to see the Lord, and seeing Lord means one will not see the material existence anymore. So she's not afraid of the calamities, because calamities will come in the material world, and that is part of the existence. If you are living in the material world, means calamities will be there. But she's more focused on the mercy and the audience of Lord, because calamities will bring Krishna. And so we are okay. I'm actually inviting these calamities because we have so much faith that Lord, you are there for us in every circumstance of our calamity, in our direct experience. So she really cares very less about the external reversals, and in fact sees all the external reversals as the greatest opportunities to receive the darshan of the Lord. So that was the way she perceives this interactions with Lord. So difficulties are not really, for a pure devotee, difficulties are not really difficulties. As long as one receives mercy, what is there, what is the difficulty? Right? Difficulty is like is like a stepping stone to get closer to Krishna. So that is how the devotees see. They invite everything. They invite difficulties. They invite calamities. They're not at all bothered. But for a materially conscious person, difficulties or challenges are considered to be like hindrances to progress in bhakti or in material life. But that is the vision of pure devotees. They actually see difficulties as the greatest opportunities to connect with Krishna. And then she speaks about what are the qualifications one needs to see God. What are the disqualifications to see God? She says one can easily understand Lord if he is an akinchana bhakta. Akinchana bhakta means one who is, in spite of having all the positions, if he is not possessive of what he has, then means, for example, in this world, people are proud of birth, wealth, education, and beauty. So these things, she says, will take one away from Lord. But if you look at the past history, great Mahajanas like Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, they are great kings. They have all the positions in this world. They have the greatest birth, they have the best wealth, they have education, they have beauty, but they never thought we are the possessor. So because they lack that possessiveness, in fact, they consider all the positions they have are the property of Krishna. So that is the nature of Akinchana Bhakta. Akinchana Bhakta means irrespective of what they have, they know that very well everything belongs to Krishna and they are fully dependent on Krishna, irrespective of all their abilities, capabilities. For example, Pandavas are greatest warriors, but they never felt for a moment that their capabilities are independent of Krishna's mercy and blessings. They consider that all of that they have is only because Lord Krishna was merciful to them. So that is the way Akinchana Bhakta is. On the other hand, one may be impoverished, but if he doesn't have the dependence on Lord, then he is not Akinchana Bhakta. And she mentions that Lord appears in various forms to protect humanity and protect righteousness and to annihilate miscreants in this world. And he is equal to everyone. He is not partial to anyone. In fact, he is reciprocal in the way he deals with people of this world. So this is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Krishna is not at all partial. He is in fact reciprocal. So everybody is responsible for the karmic reactions they have. So Lord is not partial to someone, and he is reciprocal. Based on how you deal with him, he actually reciprocates accordingly. Some people may get negative results, some people get good results. It's all depending on individuals' choices and individuals' specific actions. For example, scriptures talk about this example of a honeybee. The honeybee was on hunt for getting honey, and one time she found a beautiful sunflower, and so honeybee was so excited, she went into the pollen and she started drinking all the honey from the pollen of the sunflower. As time passed, the honeybee was so engrossed in drinking the nectar from the sunflower, she just lost track of time. And as it goes, every day sun comes and in the evening sun sets. As part of the daily routine, sun again set that evening. Sunflower, by its nature, it closes its petals. And honeybee, the poor honeybee, which was engrossed in drinking the nectar of the sunflower, it basically lost her life because she couldn't get herself out of that, out of the coils of the flower, because the flower was closed and it could not come out, it could not breathe, and so it passed away. Now one may ask, who is responsible for honeybee's death? Is it the flower? Because it created circumstances in which the honeybee could not come out. Flower is doing its own, it's undergoing its own changes, which is not responsible for it. Is it the sun who is responsible for it? No, it is not the sun. Sun comes every day and he goes down every day. So in this way, everybody in fact is responsible for their actions. One cannot blame God for anything that doesn't happen according to his expectations. He's not, Lord is never partial to anybody. So he is equal to everyone. So that's where we stopped. Now we'll continue on 29th. Let me know if you're able to see the screen. So this was, I consider your lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The distinctions between living beings are due to social intercourse. Yeah. The misunderstandings are because Lord is not responsible. He's not partial to Devas or he's not partial to Danavas. He's equal to everybody. He's the reciprocator. Okay, I'll read the words. You can repeat after me. 29th. Avedakaschet Bhagavan Chikirshitaam
नावेदकश्चेत् भगवान् कृष्णताम्
Avesmanasya Ninasya
तवे मनस्य नृणां
Mayasya Kaschit Dayatosti Karhichet
विधायस्य कश्चित् दयितोऽस्ति कर्हि चेत्
Veshastra Yasmin Vishamamatirninam
द्वेष्याश्च यस्मिन् विषमामतिर्निदानाम्
विषमामते
Matirninam. Please read.
O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial.
So one may think that Lord is partial to Pandavas, but actually Lord is reciprocative. Everybody is like children. Some children behave nicely with the parent, and so the parent also reciprocates accordingly. But from parent's perspective, he is loving to every child. Right? So like that. So no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. When Lord was in this world, he was acting just like another human being. But Mother Queen Kunti says they are very misleading because one should not consider Lord to be like a human being. One who is Akinchana Bhakta, they clearly know Lord is not another human being. You have no specific object of ever, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. He is beyond and above the partialities of this world. He is not under the three modes. Continue, Prabhu.
Foolish people think that devotional services is flattering the Lord to get special mercy. Factually, the pure devotees who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord are not mercantile community. A mercantile house renders service to someone in exchange for values. The pure devotee does not render service unto the Lord for such exchange, and therefore the full mercy of the Lord is open for him.
Yeah. So some people think why you guys you try to flatter the Lord, but actually it's not about flattering Lord. It is the instruction of the Lord. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyajin nam namaskuru. So why would Lord say like that? Man mana bhava mad, in your heart always remember me, chant my name. Why would he say? Because it is going to purify your heart. It is for your benefit, your chant, not for Lord's benefit, not to flatter. No, Lord will not get flattered by your words. People do not understand. And devotees, when they chant, they are not expecting anything from the Lord. They are, in fact, they are doing everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. They are not expecting anything. Janma karma cha vishwatman.
Janma karma cha vishwatma.
Jasya karturatmana.
Ajajat
Yasya
kartur
Katura.
atmana.
अजस्या कर्तुरात्मनः
Yan vishishu yadasyu.
Divyan
दिव्यन्दुषिषु यादशु
Tadatyanto vidambanam.
तद्दत्यन्तवनं
Vidambanam means bewildering. Janma karma cha vishwatma. O Lord, you are the soul of the universe. But your activities, your birth and activities, they are like totally bewildering. For any normal being, they are so bewildering because you're not one of us. So please read the translation and discuss more.
Of course, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you walk, though you are inactive, and that you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering.
So of course it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work though you are inactive. When Lord comes to this world, he performs. He doesn't need to work. He is the supreme Lord. He is the father of all the existence, but he still performs work. So that is bewildering. And you take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. Lord also takes birth as the son of Devaki, Vasudev, and were raised by Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. But is it like anybody else's birth? No. He is actually the Supreme Lord, and he just manifests, he appears in this world time and again. You take birth and people get bewildered. He's also like born like any of us. People think like that, misunderstand Lord. You take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. You never have any birth. You're not, the conditioned souls are forced to take birth in this world. But Lord comes out of his causeless mercy. Janma karma chame divyam. Transcendental. His appearance is transcendental. So you appear, you take birth, though you are the vital force in the unborn. You yourself descend among animals, men, sages, and aquatics, not only in the human form. You also appear in aquatics, you appear as animals like Simha. So you appear among sages. Right? So in this way, you appear in various forms. You are merciful to all different jivas. Very deep, it is bewildering because nobody knows why Lord is doing all of this. Of course, the devotees understand there are various reasons. Kunti Maharani speaks about why Lord appears in this world. But for the common people, it is very bewildering because when they read this, they understand he is also like one of us. What is so big? What is so different? But he is not one of us. You take birth, though you are the vital force and the unborn. You have never had any birth. Gopya dade tvayi kritaka siddhamatavat.
गोप्यं ददे त्वयि कृतागसितामतावत्
Yate dashashru kalilanjana sambramaksham.
Yati sambhramaksham.
Vatram niniya bhayabhavanaya asya.
Vatram niya bhaya bhavana.
Asya. Sama vimohayati bhir apiyat bibheti.
Samam vimohaya vir api yad bibhiti.
Yeah, please read.
My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflowed with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me.
One time when Mother Yashoda found that Lord was doing a lot of mischief in the home, she was very mad because Lord, baby Krishna, he went into the home and he broke a pot which was carrying butter and yogurt. He broke it and he ate the yogurt and he fed his friends and he also fed it to monkeys. He did it, and not only that, he broke and made a mess around the home completely. It was a lot of mischief, and Mother Yashoda did not want Lord to be so naughty. So she becomes very angry to teach him, how to behave nicely. So Mother Yashoda tries to bind him to a wooden mortar. This is the Damodar Leela pastime. And in this process, Mother Yashoda was running behind Krishna, baby Krishna, baby, not baby, he's like a 4-year, 5-year-old boy. She was running behind him and trying to catch and bind him to the wooden mortar. And in this incident, Lord was really in anxiety. His eyes were, in a lot of anxiety that mother would beat him, and almost tears are flowing in his eyes. So that scene was bewildering, Mother Queen Kunti says, because Lord, if we are in anxiety, we chant your name to get relieved of it. Now you are in anxiety, and when we are crying, we have no other shelter but you. But now you are crying. How is it possible? It's bewildering for any of us to conceive, oh Lord, that you are crying and you are in anxiety because Mother Yashoda was behind you. And you are afraid of anybody. Even fear personified is afraid of you. What to speak of anybody else? And you are afraid of Mother Yashoda? This sight is bewildering to me. You are the Supreme Lord, Supreme Origin of everything. You are the Supreme Source, Supreme Controller of everything. And how can we stay unbewildered by such pastimes of you? It's a very sweet description of the sweet pastimes of the Lord. It's a beautiful description by Srila Prabhupada in this work. I don't read it, but please read from here.
This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way, and Kunti, remembering the sense, was bewildered, and she could do nothing but praise the transcendental maternal love. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position of love, but she could control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child.
See, only a devotee can do that. Mother Yashoda, she is actually a devotee of the Lord. So a devotee at one point can even control the Supreme Lord. That is the supreme position of a devotee. If you look at any jnani or other yogis, they will never be able to control the Lord. but a devotee gets to a position where he acts superior to the Supreme Lord. So Lord is also willing to be controlled by his devotees. So that is the supremacy of bhakti and supreme relation between a devotee and Lord. In fact, Lord relishes, Lord enjoys such pastimes with his devotees. Kechidahur ajam jatam
Kichid ahur ajam jatam.
punya shlokasya kirtaya
Punya slokas kirtaya.
yado priyasyava syanvavaye
Yedo priyasyavan vavaye.
malyasyeva chandanam.
Maliyasyeva chandana.
Very beautiful verse. Punya shlokasya kirtaye kechid ahur ajam jatam. So she is now explaining why Lord is born in this world. Why the unborn takes birth in this world. Please read, Prabhu. Chandra Prabhu.
Yeah. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yedu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills.
Punya shlokasya kirtaye. Lord appears to basically glorify the pious kings like Yudhishthira Maharaj. When Lord appeared, he glorified the dharma, the qualities of Pandavas, and specifically Yudhishthira Maharaj. He raised the glorification of pious kings. And others say he is born to please King Yadu, because Yadu, Nanda Maharaj, he wanted, Nanda Maharaj wanted Krishna to have as his son. So he was, because the devotee desired, he is born as his son. And you appear in the family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. In Malaya hills, the whole forest, the whole hills were filled with the sandalwood trees. So for this reason, the Malaya hills were very, very famous. Malaya hills, like any other hills, there are so many hills in this world. But Malaya hills were very, very famous because of the sandalwood. So because of the sandalwood, the glory of Malaya hills was known all over the world. So similarly, when Lord was, taking birth in the family of the Yadus dynasty was glorified all over the world because Lord was taking birth in Lord took birth in their dynasty. So it is mentioned that to glorify some, the families of great devotees, oh Lord, you take birth in them. That is one way to understand. Right? Apare Vasudevasya
Yapare
Vasudevasya
Devakyam Yachito Bhaya
Devakyam
Devakyam
yasito
yachito
Yata
Ajastvam Asya Kshemaya
Ajasvamasya Kemaya
Vadhaya Cha Suradvisham.
Yacha Suradvisham.
Others say few other reasons why Lord is born. Okay, go ahead. Please read.
Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods.
Others say that, O Lord, you are born because Mother Devaki and Vasudeva have wanted Lord to be born in their in their family, as a child. Because of to please the Lord, to please the devotee, to fulfill the desire of the devotee to be born as their child, oh Lord, you have born. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, but you are unborn. You have no birth. You just appear. Lord, for Lord, we say appearance. We don't say born. He's not like, we don't say birthday for Lord. We call it as appearance day, because Lord is eternal. He exists, time and again. Just like sun appears in the morning. Sun is not born in the morning. It appears in the morning, and it sunsets in the evening. So similarly, Lord always exists. He just moves from one universe to the other universe, one planet to the other planet, time and again, as and when the need arises. So we call Lord appeared. So you are born as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki because they prayed for him. And you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods, to kill some kind of asuras. Lord, when he is born, he killed so many demons when he was in this world, because he wanted to establish dharma in this world so that the greater population can be peaceful and happy and go back to Godhead by practicing spiritual and dharmic life. Right? So to kill those who are envious of demigods, which is basically the demons, because demons don't have faith in God. So time and again, Lord takes birth and annihilates the demons and protects the demigods who have faith in Lord. It's mentioned that Vasudeva and Devaki in their previous birth as Sutapa and Prishni underwent a severe type of penance to get the Lord as their son. And as a result of these austerities, Lord appeared as their son. Bharavatara Nyanyanye. No. Bharavatara Nanyanye.
Bharavatara
Bhuvonava Ivo Dadhau.
Bhuvonavaivo dadhau
Sidantya Bhuri Bharena.
Bhuribharena
Jato hi Atma Bhuvatita.
Jato hi Atma Bhuvatita.
Please read.
Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble.
Others say that when the world is overburdened by the demonic people, so then what does Brahma do? Brahma goes to the shore of Milk Ocean, where Lord resides in Svetadvipa, in the material universe itself, and he prays for the appearance of the Lord, Kshirodakasaya Vishnu. So when Lord incarnates in this world, he comes to this world through the medium of Kshirodakasaya Vishnu. Always. This is the repeated step. Anytime the Devas were aggrieved, and Lord Brahma goes to Svetadvip and he prays, and Lord appears, he incarnates through the medium of the Kshirodakasaya Vishnu. Yeah, so he appears to actually diminish the trouble. There are various reasons why Lord appears. It is because of Brahma's prayer. It is because of, to please his devotees, to glorify his devotees like Yudhishthira Maharaj, and to establish dharma. And it's also because of the prayers of Vasudeva and Devaki. So there are several reasons when Lord appears all these factors are put into consideration, and he finally takes birth, to fulfill all these categories of desires and requirements from various devotees. Bhavesmin klishyamananam
Bhavesmin Vichyamananam
avidya kama karma bhi
Avidya Karmavi
shravana smarana arhani
Ani
karishyan iti kechana. Yeah, please read.
And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned souls suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation.
And this is the primary reason we can relate to. Bhavesmin klishyamanana. Klishyamanana means people suffering in this world. Klishyamana. Klishya means difficulties. Bhavesmin. This material world is called Bhavashaga. Bhavashaga means, existence. Sagara means where there are no limits. Right? In the material world, in an ocean, one may not find shores. If he's in the middle of ocean, he cannot see the shores. Similarly, one who comes to this world doesn't know how to get out of this world. It's very difficult. It's like an ocean. In the middle of ocean, how can anybody get out of it? So the situation is like that. Bhaveshmin klishyamanana. The conditioned souls in the material world are suffering in this material existence in this material ocean. Right? They're suffering very, very much. And what are they suffering with? Avidya kama karma. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance of who they are, who God is, and what is the relationship with Him. They are completely ignorant of all of that. Avidya kama karma. Kama means desire. Karma means by execution of work. They are doing so many things that do not really help them. Shravana smarana arhani karishyan iti kechana. So for all these people who are suffering in this world, Lord comes to teach, hearing, remembering, and worshipping. And so, in order that conditioned souls suffering from material pangs can take advantage and get out of this material existence. So they basically can get out of this material existence through performance of the devotional activities, primarily Shravanam, Smaranam, and Arhani means worshipping. So basically, Lord appears also to teach that the living entities how to get out of this material existence through the process of hearing, chanting, and worshipping. Especially in this age, Lord Chaitanya has appeared for this purpose, 100% only, primarily for this purpose, as the Yoga Avatar. Please read this.
The Lord, however, out of His causeless mercy, because He is more merciful to the suffering living beings than they can expect, appears before them and renovates the principles of devotional service, comprised of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, cooperating, and surrendering unto Him.
Yeah, so these methods are given here. Shrinvanti gayanti grinanti abhikshanash nandanti tavehitam jana taeva pashyanti achirena tavakam
Taiva
पश्यन्ति अचिरे तावकम्
Pravaho paramam padambujam.
भावम्
A beautiful verse. Shinvanti gayanti grananti abhikshana. Hear, chant, abhikshana continuously. Please read the translation.
O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death.
Which alone can stop, which alone, exclusive. See this word? Alone. Which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. Shinvanti gayanti grinanti abhikshana smaranti nandanti tave hitam jana taeva pashyanti achirena tavakam. This is a very important word here. Pashyanti means to see. Achirena means immediately. There is no delay. Tavakam, achirena tavakam. They can immediately see. Achirena tavakam. So one practices the Srinvanti gayanti grinanti smaranti nandanti tave hitam. So such a person can immediately get achirena, pashyanti. He will immediately get the opportunity to see you. Bhavapravoha paramam padambujam. So they will immediately get the shelter of your lotus feet, and they will get out of this bhavapravaha. Bhavapravaha means this material existence that is the cause of birth and death. Birth and death. Bhavapravaha. People are suffering in this world. They are again and again coming back to this world. Bhavapravaha. There is no stop to it. But it's like a cycle, right? Cycle is continuously rotating. Birth, old age, birth, disease, old age, death. Again, birth, death, old age. What is the loophole to get out of this? Shinvanti gayanti grananti abhikshana. Smaranti nandanti tave hitam jana. This is the loophole to get out of this samsara sagar. Immediately he will get the relief from the material existence. Not only that, he should sing, he should hear, and he should also take pleasure in others doing so. Meaning, if other devotees are doing, if other devotees are progressing, we should feel very, very happy about it. It's not that we are becoming better in spiritually and we are happy about it. It's also that you help others also to become Krishna conscious. And also if others are making a lot of progress, you should be very, very happy about it. You should not feel envious of other people who are making good progress spiritually. Sometimes we see devotees who come much later than us, but they learn slokas, they learn subject very well, and they grow very fast. And we should not feel jealous or envy of them. It is the mercy of Lord upon them. If you take pleasure in their progress, we make our progress. Right? Never. So it's important to take pleasure in others' progress. Purple is a very big purport. Apyajjanastvam swakrite hita prabho
प्रभो
vihasasi sve suhrido jivina
विहाससि स्वे सुहृदो
जीविनः
yesham na chanyad bhavata padambujat parayanam rajasujoji yoji chaktas yoji tamsaham.
परायणं राजसु योजितां
Please read.
O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enmity with us.
Hmm. So this is the nature of a pure devotee. What does she say? She says, "O Lord, now that we are victorious, and now Yudhishthira Maharaj was made the king of the entire world. Now you are leaving us. We are actually always dependent on you. It's not like, okay, Kunti Maharani, one may, Krishna may say, oh, you have powerful sons who are, you have, your eldest son is the personification of Dharma, Yudhishthira Maharaj. You have the most powerful and the strongest son in Bhima, who had the strength of 10,000 elephants in one hand. That is the strength of Bhima. And you have the world's foremost bow fighter, Arjuna. What more do you need from me? What more do you need? You are all self-sufficient. You can rule your country yourself. Do you need me at all? One may, Krishna may think like that. So Queen Kunti is clarifying ahead in time, oh Lord, it is all because of you. We are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. See the surrender, the spirit of surrender. In spite of having all these capabilities, the entire kingdom in their hands, still, this is the akinchana spirit of the devotee. They have all the positions in this world, but they have no possessiveness, no thought that this is because of me, I'm able to do this, I'm capable of that. No, they always think everything is because of the mercy of the Lord. So this is the spirit of a devotee. This is the way we execute. We are always in the spirit of a trustee. Trustee means you are never the owner. You are given, the responsible job to own, temporarily use certain resources for the service of others. That's how you see everything: your home, your family, your children, your job. In everything, you always feel that you are dependent on Lord, on the mercy of the Lord. Akinchana. So such a devotee, why would he not have the protection of the Lord in every circumstance? Why would he not? He would have, because of his spirit. Right? So that is the spirit in which Queen Kunti is. That is why she is always attractive to Lord Krishna. Right? Lord is always there for them, because that is the spirit in which Arjuna lived the same spirit, Uttara lived the same spirit, Queen Kunti lived the same spirit. That's why Lord is always with them. Yeah, please read this.
The Pandavas are most fortunate because with all good luck, they were entirely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. In the material world, to be dependent on the mercy of someone else is the utmost sign of misfortune. But in the case of our transcendental relation with the Lord, it is the most fortunate case where we can live completely dependent on Him.
Yeah, please read, continue.
The material disease is due to thinking of becoming independent of everything, but the cruel material nature does not allow us to become independent. The false attempt to become independent of the stringent laws of nature is known as material advancement of experimental knowledge.
Prabhupada is so brilliant. See, nobody likes to be under the clutches of the laws of nature, material nature. And the devotee tries to depend on Krishna. And because the scientists, all the material advancement is all about getting out of the limitations of or the stringent laws of nature, correct? That is why we invent so many things. We invent car, we invent jet airways. because material laws impose that you cannot fly, right? But the desire of the conditioned soul is that I want to go flying to the other place. So he creates this, the jet airplanes and whatnot, trains and bus cars and all of this to overcome the material. It's not wrong, but the point is that, but to get out of this material existence completely, one cannot depend on experimental science, right? It has its own limitations. It can only get you better things in a material way, but it cannot get you beyond this material existence. Evayam nama rupabhyam
Evayam nama
yadubhi saha pandava
Yadurhi saha Pandavaha
bhavato darshanam yarhi
Bhavato
Bhavato Yati
rishikanam iveshitu.
Rishikanam Viveshitu.
As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once.
If you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. So she's saying all the fame that we have, is because you are with us. Lord is like the spirit, and they say like, they are like the body. If the spirit leaves, there is no value of the body, right? As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities along with the Pandavas and Yadus will end at once. Malaya's Chandanam, the fame of the Malaya hills was because of the Chandanam. If Chandanam is not there, Malaya hills is like any other hills, no big deal. Right? Before Pandavas, there were millions of kings. After Pandavas, there are thousands of kings who ruled the kingdom of the entire world. But not everybody is known. Historically, we remember only Pandavas because it is the time when Lord Krishna was merciful upon them. Right? So if you do not look upon us, O Lord, all our fame and activities along with the Pandavas and the others will end at once. So Queen Kunti is acknowledging that she and her children, they were completely dependent on him. They very clearly know that all that they have today is because of Krishna. That gratitude she is expressing. Please read this. Yeah.
No one should be proud of his prestige, power, and fame without being guided by the favor of the Supreme Lord. The living beings are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord himself. We may therefore invent by our advancement of material knowledge all sorts of counteracting material resources, but without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco. However strong and stout the reactionary elements may be.
So if we don't have the blessings of the Lord in all the endeavors, we only fail. It does not come with us. Neyam so bishyate tatra.
Neyam so
Tatra
Yate dhanim gadadhara.
Yadedani Gadadhara
Tatpader ankita bhati. Swalakshana vilakshitai. Please read.
O Gadadhara Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so.
Hmm. O Lord, it is by the impressions of your feet. Tatpade bhati. It is, O Lord, it is by your lotus feet. This whole land appears very, very beautiful, marked by your imprints of your lotus feet. But when you leave, O Lord, it will no longer be so. Because Lord, wherever Lord appears, that place becomes auspicious. That's why, and Bhagavatam is considered equivalent to Krishna. So whoever reads Bhagavatam and whoever has Bhagavatam in their home, they have Krishna in their home. Literally, if you read, especially if you read it, you have the blessing of Lord on a daily basis at your home. The whole place becomes very, very auspicious. Yeah. She's clearly acknowledging the position of Krishna here. Without you, O Lord, there will not be any beauty in this world. Now, please read this. This is a nice point here.
There are certain particular marks on the feet of the Lord which distinguish the Lord from others. The marks of a flag, thunderbolt, and instrument to drive an elephant, umbrella, lotus, disc, etc., are on the bottom of the Lord's feet. These marks are impressed upon the soft dust of the land where the Lord traverses. The land of Hastinapura was thus marked while Lord Sri Krishna was there with the Pandavas, and the kingdom of the Pandavas thus flourished by such auspicious signs. Kunti Devi pointed out these distinguished features and was afraid of ill luck in the absence of the Lord.
There's so much faith in Lord. Me janapada sraddha supakwashau supakshadau supakwa supakwa aushadhi virudha vanandrinadi udanvanto hi edhante tavakshitaye So she's actually glorifying how when Lord is not going to be there, everything is zero, right? Yeah, please read.
All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs, grains are in the abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over.
Tava vikshitaha means because you are glancing this place, all the cities that the Pandavas, the Pandus are living at this point. All these grains, herbs, everything was there. So even in this world, when there is abundance of good fortune like grains, herbs, very good healthy atmosphere in this world, it is because there must be some devotee who is actually practicing devotion service sincerely in that region. That is the reason Lord's glance is there in that area. Tava vikshitaha. When Lord's glance is there, the whole land flourishes in various ways. Please read.
Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gin- gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of godless civilization, and they cause destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general, although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation.
So if widespread industrialization is there, only a few people become rich and rest of the people actually um, suffer a lot. That is what is happening in today's world. But during the time of Yudhishthira Maharaj, every city and every village was very, very flourishing because nature was very, very happy. When there is a good king, nature opens herself to give all the grains, water. Nature has everything to give. It's never there is a scarcity. People say, oh, there is scarcity in this land, that land, there is no rain. It is the earth tries to withhold when there are no dharmic people in the land. Right? Just like if suppose you're doing, what we do with the earth, right? We try to inject and extract so many things from earth in various ways. We cause so much pain. If you keep on pinching your mother, will your mother be nice to you? Even though she loves you, she won't give you, she won't give you everything you need because you're so, giving so much pain. So similar, same point. If you keep on pinching Mother Nature would not give rain in time. There won't be grains, there won't be natural supplies. And people in general suffer. This COVID pandemic is one sample, right? It put everybody to starve. The whole world was starved. And nature on its own, recovered, regenerated over, several months of clean habits. Because people were not so much traveling. There's not so much, unhealthy atmosphere. So time and again, nature does these things so to cleanse the system, right? It's all nature's arrangement. So in this way here, Yudhishthira Maharaj was the king. Krishna was extremely pleased. God is extremely pleased because under Yudhishthira Maharaj, the kingdom would grow spiritually. Every citizen in the country gets opportunity to give Krishna. So for that reason, Lord was extremely happy, and nature is all Maya Jakshena Prakriti Suyateva Sarachara, right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. This entire material nature is under my control. So nature, when Lord is happy, nature is very happy to give everything. It gives abundance of crop, abundance of rain, abundance of vegetables, everything we need, fruits. Whatever we need for living, nature will supply, mines, and everything. This is all due to your glancing over them. Without mercy of the Lord, nothing happens. Atah Vishvesha Vishwatman
Vishvesha
Vishwatman
Vishwamurte Swakeshu Me
Vishwamurte Svakeshu
Snehapasham Imam Chindhi
Snehapasham
Imam Chindi
Tam Pandusu Vrishnishu.
Dhridam
Vishnu
Please read.
O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis.
O Lord of the universe, Atah Vishvesha Vishwatman. Vishwatman means the soul of the universe. Vishwa Isha. Vishwa Isha means the controller of the universe, Lord of the universe. Atah Vishvesha Vishwatman. Vishwamurte Swakeshume. Vishwamurte, the universal form of the Lord. Swakeshume means my own family members. I consider I'm so far thanking you, O Lord, because you have protected us from so many calamities. You are born in our family, Yadu dynasty, and you have protected and given us the rulership of the kingdom. I'm only talking about as if I belong to this family. But actually, I'm a soul. I'm your servant eternally. Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi, you break my ties of material existence, of my ties of affection to the family. It does not mean she does not want to maintain the relationship with Pandavas. It is the material affection part that she wants to be severed. Because as devotees, Pandavas and Yadu dynasty, Vrishnis, they're all devotees. And as a devotee, we want association of other devotees, right? So she's not asking about, getting her out of the association of these Pandavas and Vrishnis. In fact, she wants her to maintain as a co-soul along with everybody else, as a devotee of the Lord, and association of the others as devotees in the family. And she does not want to have the material affection still tied with their family members. She doesn't want that part of the material part of the affection. She doesn't want to continue to have. She wants to sever the material affection and want to join everybody else and participate in the devotions, in the performance of devotion service to the Lord. The Sangha is needed at the spiritual level, not at the material level. She doesn't want to be tied to material, her children. Please read.
The Pandavas are her own sons, and the Vrishnis are the members of her paternal family. Krishna was equally related to both the families. Both the families required the Lord's help because both were dependent devotees of the Lord. Srimati Kunti Devi wished Sri Krishna to remain with her sons, the Pandavas, but by his doing so, her paternal house would be bereft of the benefit. All these partialities troubled the mind of Kunti, and therefore she decided to cut off the affectionate tie.
She doesn't want to have material part of the relationship. Now, please continue, Mataji.
A pure devotee cuts off the limited ties of affection for his family and widens his activities of devotional service for all forgotten souls. The typical example is the band of 6 Goswamis who followed the path of Lord Chaitanya.
They severed all the ties. Another beautiful verse. Tvayi me ananya vishaya.
Tvayi me
Ananya Vishaya.
Mater madhu pate shakrat.
Matir
Mater
madhu
Madhu Pate Sakrat.
Ratim udvahatat adha.
Vahatad Adha.
Gange vaugham udanvati.
Gange Vogham Mudanvati.
Tvayi me ananya vishaya. May my mind be taken out of all the other thoughts. Ananya vishaya. I want undistracted attention to you. Madhupate, O Lord of the Madhu. Continuously, let it ashakrit continuously be flow towards you. Right? So please read the translation.
O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else.
Hmm. If you notice, um, Ganga starts from Himalayas, right? She sometimes flows in a short canals, very very small, small flows, and while on its way, it faces so many mountains, big, small rocks, right? And through all these hindrances, she finds her path back to ocean. Somehow or the other, twisting around, sometimes going all around the mountain, sometimes she has to float over the rocks. But whatever, just like Ganga cannot be stopped from getting in touch with ocean. Oh Lord, with all the distractions in this world, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. I don't want anybody in this. Uh, my attention should be constantly upon you. No material affection towards anybody, nothing doing. I just want my mind to be continuously attracted to you. So please kindly bless upon me that my mind always, just like a river flows towards ocean with all the hindrances on its way, somehow or the other, let my mind constantly focus upon you and achieve you finally. Hmm? Such a beautiful verse. Taime ananya vishaya matir madhu pate sakrit ratim buddha hatad adha nange valgham vadamvati. Please read.
Yes. So, a living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is the synonym of life. The symptom of life, such as desire, anger, hankerings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be neglected, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification.
Hmm. We may have all sorts of feelings, but we should basically make it in the service of the Lord. We should convert, somehow engage all your thoughts, feelings, everything in the service of the Lord, and that way you cannot be distracted from the primary goal of achieving Krishna. I think one last verse. This is the summary of all the verses. Sri Krishna Krishna Saka Vrishni Rasha Bhavani Drug
Shri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhavani Druk
Rajanya Vamsa Dahanana Pavargavirya
Rajanyavamsa dahananapavargavirya
Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara
Govinda
Govinda
Surarti
Vijayasuratyarthi haravatara
Yogeshwara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste.
Yogeshwar
Yogeshwara
Yogeshwara Guru Bhagavan Namaste.
Sri Krishna Krishna Saka Vrishni Vrishabhavani Drit. Please read the translation.
My daughter wants to.
That's what.
O Krishna, you are, O friend of Arjuna, O chief amongst the descendants of this
Vishnu.
this
Vrishni.
Vishni, you are the destroyer of those who protect
Political parties.
protect
I will read. Which are
No, it's okay. Better.
okay.
which are disturbing the elements of this earth. You never this deteriorate
Nice. Please go ahead. Hello? Sri Vidya Mataji?
I think I can read Prabhu in case if they are lost.
Yeah.
Are they there? Or Mataji, are you there?
She's there. I can't hear though.
Okay.
Yes.
O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief amongst the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distress of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisances.
You possess all mystic powers and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisances. Such a beautiful verse. Yogishvara, O Master of the mystic powers. Akhila, Guru, Bhagavan, Namaste. O Master of the mystic powers, Akhila, Guru, Universal, O Preceptor, Bhagavan, O Possessor of opulences, Namaste. So she summarized all the points in part and finally offering her obeisances to Lord Krishna. Beautiful verse. Any questions? We are done with the topic of prayers of Queen Kunti. Today we covered almost 12 verses, 13 verses.
Prabhuji, one question. So when Kunti Devi mentions she doesn't want to have the material emotions. So after that, she just leaves it there. I mean, what is she trying to convey in the end? Like she's okay in the Lord leaving, or?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, after that, I think Lord stays for a few more days and then he leaves. Yeah.
Okay. So when it's said like she doesn't hold on to the material emotions, that's what it means.
Yeah, basically she no, the reason was like, everybody has with our family there is a part of us which is, there is a part of relation which is material affection. So her prayer is that let myself be not focused on that aspect more. Material welfare of our, the family members and, Vrishnis as well as the Pandavas. Let me not focus on that. And I want to associate with them as devotees, as co-devotees, and may my mind be focused on your lotus feet continuously. Right? So that's what she's praying for. Of course, that she is actually beyond. She, by her prayers, we know she's above and beyond material affection. But she's praying so that, anybody like us who reads that understand the importance of, distinguishing material affection, right, with our family members and focusing on the spiritual aspect.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, now it's clear.
Any other questions, devotees? It's a very beautiful section, right? Very beautiful verses. Even to read them, it's these prayers. If you read on a daily basis, just the words and translation, it's extremely purifying, extremely powerful. It changes your consciousness fully. So it's highly recommended. Whenever you get time, spend 10 minutes. Go open the first Canto 8th chapter on your mobile or on your book and go through these verses, 18th onwards to 43. Not many verses. It's extremely purifying, to read through the prayers. And at the end of it, Lord Krishna just smiles, gives a small smile, accepting her prayers. We'll get to that next week. Okay. So we are done with the class for today, and we completed the chapter 8. We'll continue with the 9th chapter next week. Thank you all very much for your sincere attendance. And if there are any mistakes or anything unclear, please let me know and forgive me.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
sorry, I got disconnected that time when she was reading.
Oh yeah, actually we continued. We thought you got disconnected, and so we continued. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, the question, Prabhuji. So we were reading about the feet, the footmarks of Krishna. So can you elaborate about that someday? Like how it's possible that we can see the prints and all?
So Lord Krishna, when he's, I mean, any incarnation for that matter, they have specific marks on their lotus feet. For example, if you see the feet of Lord, this is how it looks. I'll share the screen. So it has Shankh, Chakra. You see, there is lotus, there is Chakra, there is umbrella, there is Gada. Right? So the swastik, the symbols of the fish, bow, Shankh. So this is exactly how Lord's lotus feet looks like. And they have specific significance as to what each of the symbols are. Even Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet has these symbols. So this is one way to recognize the lotus feet of a great devotee. The Supreme Lord. Identify the incarnations. This is the Lord Nityananda's lotus feet, for example. This is Lord Krishna's lotus feet. This is Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. Okay? Is that clear?
Yeah, but is it something like we can also see, or is it something like normally we have that in hands and all, we have lines, right? Like that. They have these pictures itself depicted.
Yes, they have these symbols carved under their feet. Yeah, very distinguishedly. So when they walk, these symbols will actually, they're so clear, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So all the incarnations have these symbols. This is one way to understand an incarnation. Without
Do we, Prabhuji, do we, can we see it somewhere like imprinted? I mean, any place?
Now, whether Lord's lotus prints were there somewhere, I haven't heard about it.
Okay.
Maybe somebody might have, I don't know. Because it's all in the scriptures only, as far as I know.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna.